Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're having, what are we having? We're having a hamburger and mac and cheese. So, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know, give me some video suggestions. Don't forget to turn your notifications on. And yeah, today we are trying this place I've never been to. It's called Crave Grill. I follow this like forum on Facebook, and this place showed up as a good place to get burgers, and I guess their mac and cheese is like awesome. So I figured I'd check it out. So this is their mac and cheese. It says it's made with fresh pasta, and then they top it with crispy fried onions. That's what it looks like. It looks so good. So I'm gonna try and just dump this on the plate. Gosh, this looks heavenly. This looks absolutely amazing. Okay. Why? Okay, there's like a grid on my camera. Oh well. Okay, and then I got one of their most popular burgers. It's a BBQ Bacon Burger. Holy moly, this thing is huge. So it has onion rings, barbecue sauce, house ham, whatever that is. Don't know what house ham is. Cheese. Did I say barbecue sauce? The onion rings are beer battered. I just got barbecue sauce all over. And then I chose fries. You can get a choice of fries or tater tots. Barbecue sauce is good. All right, I really want to try this. I really want to try this mac and cheese before it starts getting cold. Looks like they top it with parsley. Oh yeah, very rich. Yes, this. So they use, I'm not sure what type of pasta this is, but it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. Let's get some of these crispy onions. I got a side of ranch to go with the fries. Fries are cold. I think I was a little bit late to pick this up. All right. They have one of these like pick things to hold it together. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see it, but the barbecue sauce is like dripping. It's really good though. Amazing. Oh. I'm gonna have to move this closer. This is so good. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a break. It's a little bit messy for me, and I'm gonna adjust the camera so that I can eat better. I restarted and didn't push the record button. So I adjusted the angle. You guys are closer to me. Here's the food. I don't think it's gonna focus though. Mac and cheese. Daisy is underneath the table right now. Just waiting for something to fall. Okay. This burger is just dripping in barbecue sauce. Mmm. Mmm. This is so good. Let me see. I don't know if you can see the ham that's on there. Then all the barbecue sauce. It's just like dripping out. And these onion rings, I should have gotten a side of onion rings instead of fries, but they're huge. This is a small little place. Yeah. Mmm. Mmm. And their ranch is good. Daisy is in front of my lights. Hi, Mama. Are you gonna steal the show? Hmm? Are you gonna steal the show, Mama? This mac and cheese is very hearty. See if it'll focus so you can tell what kind of noodle it is. But it's like swirly wheels. I don't know how to explain it. But it is really good. So far, so good. I mean, I recommend this place. This burger is huge. It's so messy, but it's so good. I think a rag would have been better than napkins, because the barbecue sauce gets like sticky, you know. So a wet rag would be good. I'm drinking a ginger lime mule seltzer, one of my favorite flavors. This is definitely cool down. See how it like unravels? Oh no, it's really good. You can get this topped with barbecue pulled pork. They had a few different options to choose from. Bacon, and I don't know if that's including the onions or not, but you can pay a little bit more money and get some meat on top. I think the barbecue pulled pork would be really good with this. So let me know how you guys are doing. What have you guys been up to? Me, I have been like going down the rabbit hole of the Casey Anthony trial, and so Casey Anthony, if you guys don't know, she is notorious for being acquitted for the murder of her daughter, Kaylee Anthony. I want to say Kaylee Anthony, the Kaylee Anthony case was one of my very first like true crime. Like I had to know everything about it. I watched Nancy Grace all the time. I kind of followed it from the beginning and was watching it on the news and everything, watching everything as it was unfolding. And it's just, it hits so close to home because Sophia was born just a couple of years after. Sophia, I remember Sophia being, I want to say she was like 1 year old. So it just really intrigued me, you know, because how does a mother go 31 days without notifying any authorities, calling the police, or even letting her parents know, or anybody for that matter, know that her daughter is missing? So Casey Anthony, I want to say she was like 22 years old at the time. This happened back in 2008 in June. So June 16th was the last day that anybody saw her daughter Kaylee Anthony. And for the next 31 days, she would get a tattoo, she would be seen partying, post pictures online, MySpace, photo bucket, Facebook of her just like being in the club dancing. And during those 31 days, nobody saw Kaylee. She had even told her parents that she was going to be going out of town and she was taking Kaylee with her. And it wasn't until her parents got a phone call from a tow yard saying that they had their car there, which is the car that Casey Anthony drove. It was a Pontiac Sunfire. It had been abandoned in a parking lot. So her parents went to go pick it up, Cindy and George Anthony. And they said when they brought it home, they parked it in the garage and they just said it smelled like there was a dead body. They tried to get a hold of Casey. They couldn't find her. Eventually they did find her and had her come home. And so they were asking questions about the car. She had also stolen some of her parents' money. She had stolen some of her best friend's checkbook and was spending money that wasn't hers, writing these checks, being seen on surveillance cameras during this whole 31 days without Kaylee. So she shows up to her parents' house, and that's when her mom calls the police. She first called the police because she wanted to report that her daughter had stolen money from them. And then the second time she called the police is when she found out that Kaylee was missing. So when Casey showed up to the house, she showed up without Kaylee. They were questioning her, where's Kaylee? Where's Kaylee? You know, we haven't seen her in weeks. Where is she? And then that's when Casey tells them that she left Kaylee with a nanny named Zenaida Gonzalez. We later find out is a totally made up name, was never her nanny. She claimed that this nanny had been her nanny for 2 years. And so that's what she told her parents. And then her mom called the police again. And was like, hey, my daughter's home. She just told me that my granddaughter's been missing for 31 days. I came home. Her car smells like there's been a dead body in it. And so the dispatcher asked to speak to Casey. And so Cindy Anthony is trying to give the phone to Casey. And she's like kind of hysterical. Cindy Anthony is, her mom. And you can hear Casey in the background saying, no, I don't have anything to say to them. Which to me, I'm like, your daughter's been missing for 31 days and you don't have anything to say to dispatch? Your mom's the one that had to call the police that your daughter was missing? No, something ain't right. So, and she just seemed like she didn't care. Like, I don't know. This woman irks me. So They report her missing. The whole time, Casey Anthony is just like, no emotion. She says she's been using her own resources to try and find her. Then she leaves detectives on a wild goose chase and basically lies about her employment. So she took them to her Orlando studios where she said she worked, but she hadn't worked there for over a year. They took her to the nanny's apartment, which was vacant. Nobody had been there. They found out that nobody had been there for, I think, over a year. The apartment had been vacant for a while. So by the time they got to Orlando Studios and Casey Anthony led them to where her office was, she ends up going down this hallway and it's like a dead end, and obviously like she doesn't know where she's going. And that's when she's like caught, and she turns around and admits, she's like, okay, she tells the detectives, I actually don't work here anymore. Then she gets arrested for lying to authorities. She's arrested, she's booked. And in the meantime, everybody is still looking for Kaylee. Becomes this huge like media circus storm. Everybody's reporting on it. People are flying down. Because how could this mother go 31 days without calling anybody to letting them know and letting them know that her daughter's missing? Her daughter was 3 years old? Yeah, she was 3 years old. George and Cindy Anthony are doing everything in their power. There's searches going on, trying to look for Kaylee. And it seems like Casey is just not helping. She's more worried about the fact that she's sitting in jail and nobody's helping her get out or post bond. And she's like a little jealous of the fact that her parents are more worried about finding Kaylee than the fact that she's sitting in jail. So 6 months go by. Multiple searches have been done. Everybody's still looking for this little girl. And then finally they find her. Right around the corner from her house, I want to say it was like a mile away from her house, in a wooded, swampy area, they find Kaylee's decomposed body. It was mostly bones. They found duct tape wrapped around her face. She was inside. She was wrapped in a Winnie the Pooh blanket inside a black bag and inside of a laundry bag. So anyways, they go to trial. All this information comes out. Kaylee's accusing her dad of essaying her, you know, being inappropriate with her. Also accusing her brother of being inappropriate with her. And her defense team comes up with a story that Kaylee Anthony drowned in the pool and it was an accident. Excuse me. It was an accident that just kind of snowballed out of control. They were trying to cover up. And as everybody knows, she was acquitted. She was found not guilty because the prosecution could not say exactly, they didn't have a definitive answer on how Kaylee died. So because it was just her skeletal remains, they couldn't find the cause of death, but the manner of death was homicide. There was no like soft tissue or anything to go on to say whether or not she was drugged, because there were some theories that maybe she drugged Kaylee and put her in the trunk so that Casey could go out partying, because she didn't like her mom being watching Kaylee all the time because she was jealous of the fact that Kaylee and Cindy, her mom, had a better relationship than Casey had with her mom. And you can tell that in like the jailhouse recordings, and just the way that she speaks to her mother. It's kind of, she's just very rude to her mom and dismissive. You can just tell their relationship is really rocky. So yeah, she gets found not guilty. And the jurors themselves said, even though she's found not guilty, that doesn't mean that she's innocent also, you know? They just didn't have a cause of death. And the prosecution didn't provide like a motive or anything. So here we are. It's 2011. That's when they went to trial. She was found not guilty. Now she's like the most hated mom in America. She's had death threats, you know, all this. She goes into hiding. She ends up living with like her defense team. They kind of take her under their wing and support her because now she like has nowhere to go. So yeah, so here we are 11 years later, 2022, and she's got a docuseries on Peacock, which I had to watch. And now she's like got everybody, not everybody, she's got a lot of people like on her side. So she's claiming that yes, her dad SA'd her, which, do we know if that's true or not? I don't know if there's evidence to prove that. You know, I don't want to dismiss that because, you know, it could be true. And the same thing with her brother. But I found so many inconsistencies in her story. I feel like she is still lying, and she's trying to pin everything on her dad now. Basically saying it was pretty much for Casey, the series. And she had me there for a minute, but there's just something about her that I just don't believe. There's so many inconsistencies in her stories. Like, for instance, she says that she didn't know that, she said that everybody knew the passwords to the computer. Everybody had everybody's passwords because it was a family computer. So the day that Kaylee went missing, there was at 2:52, I believe, somebody got onto the password protected computer, logged on, searched for foolproof suffocation, and then also logged on to Casey's MySpace, which is password protected also. So if she's saying in the docuseries today, 2022, she's saying that everybody had the passwords to the computer. So then why is your family and your best friend asking for those passwords while you're in the jail? It's on recording. So the jailhouse recordings, the video and phone recordings, her brother is asking her for the passwords, and he's saying that the passwords that Casey gave him aren't working. Her friend is also asking for the passwords to the computer. So if everybody had everybody's passwords, why would they feel the need to ask for those passwords, you know? So that's one inconsistency. Another inconsistency in her story is that today she's saying that she didn't realize that she had been SA'd by her father until she was in jail, because she started having these vivid dreams. She was, you know, alone. She had time with her thoughts. And that's when she started thinking back that, you know, her dad had done stuff to her, you know. But then later on in the series, she's saying that, oh, she never let Kaylee be alone with her dad. You know, she was never left home alone with him. He was never able to watch her. She tried to protect her daughter as much as she could from her dad because of what her dad did to her. well, wait a minute, didn't you just say you didn't remember that your dad did these things to you, but now you're saying that you were trying to protect Kaylee the whole time? It makes no sense to me. And also, this, if you're saying that you held her in your arms and she's limp and cold and not breathing, why would, and your dad took her, why would you leave your dad and think that she was okay in your dad's arms, in your dad's care, if your dad did all the, if you were afraid of her being alone with your dad? You know, because she's saying that she trusted her dad was like pretty much in control of everything, telling her to lie and telling her what to say, but you were just saying you didn't want your daughter to be alone with him because of what he did to you. But now you're saying you felt it was safe enough for her to be with him during those 31 days that she was missing. Make it make sense, please, because that makes no sense to me. Just so many things. Also, I remember reading that she had a romantic or like physical relationship with her lawyer, Jose Baez. And so in the docuseries, it shows her with her team, and you know, they're like this big family. They became a family after the trial and everything. Well, it made no mention about Jose Baez, because supposedly there was like some misconduct, whether they were in a relationship or whatever, or maybe she was repaying him with favors to help pay for her legal fees or whatever, you know. How come he wasn't in the docuseries? That's what I want to know. Interesting, right? So yeah, it's just, she had me there for a minute. She had me feeling sorry for her, because I feel like she's using the excuse that her dad is saying her. She's using that as an excuse to deflect attention on her, to, you know, kind of you know, have everybody think that it was now her dad. Because if you were facing the death penalty, which she was, wouldn't you be like, okay, wait a minute, like, my dad's telling me to say all this, my dad knows where she is, if that was true, right? Because I know I would. If I was in her position and my life was on the line and I knew my dad had her in safekeeping, I'd be blabbing my mouth. Whether, you know, that stuff went on or not, I'd look out for myself. So, I don't know. Let me know your opinions. I know there's a lot of people, like, it's all over my TikTok, people that think that George Anthony is like 100% guilty. Which I do question some of his involvement, because I remember he like tried to unalive himself. Like, no. I remember he tried to unalive himself, and when that was like, it was like all on the news. He like went to a hotel, he had this letter written out and everything, and he wanted to be with Kaylee. And I remember thinking, like, why would you want to do that, unless like maybe you were feeling guilty about something, or I don't know. But come to find out, he was actually having an affair. So I mean, there's a lot of information about this case, and no, Daisy. There's a lot of information about this case, and I still don't believe her. So that's just my opinion. You guys can go watch it and form your own opinion. But I honestly think that she knows what happened to her daughter. There's also proof that her letters to her jail friend, she told her jail friend evidence that wasn't yet released to the public, that only the killer would know. So there's that too. So she's trying to pull a wool over everybody's eyes, using her dad as what her dad did to her as an excuse. You know? So that's just my opinion. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have one last bite of this burger and then I'm gonna let you go. And I think that maybe her dad did have some suspicion, or maybe did cover up some things trying to help her daughter, his daughter. But I just don't know. I don't think his involvement is 100% innocent. I think that, yeah, maybe he did try to cover up some things to try and get Casey like out of jail, or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just hoping she told somebody somewhere and they come forward, you know? Which I don't think they can try her again unless they have new evidence. Alright guys, that kind of turned into a true crime, didn't it? Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Casey Anthony case. Turn on your notifications so you're notified the second that I upload a brand new video. Rate this video, share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you soon with a brand new one. Bye!